Welcome to Wisdom Planet, wisdom worth spreading. Happy listening. The book I will interpret for you today is Smarter, Faster, Better: The Transformative Power of Real Productivity. I will delve into the core ideas of the book, how to substantially enhance team effectiveness by transforming our mindset. There are many common suggestions for improving efficiency, such as making detailed plans, prioritizing tasks, strengthening execution, and developing summarizing skills. These suggestions may seem reasonable, but in practice, their effectiveness is often not as significant as expected. So, what is efficiency? Is it about reasonable time planning? Is it about increasing work output within a given time frame? Or is it about necessary strong execution ability? The author of the book believes that these well-known general opinions may not touch the true core of efficient work. As the saying goes, go for the jugular. If we fail to grasp the key points and only learn superficial efficiency improvement techniques, we may continue to face the dilemma of heavy workload and low efficiency. In this book, the author brings together outstanding individuals and case studies from various industries in the United States, refining several core strategies to promote efficient team operations. These strategies include motivation, promoting teamwork, maintaining focus, goal setting, and enhancing control. Although these concepts are well known, Charles Duhigg injects new insights into these viewpoints through his unique analytical perspective. The book further points out that despite the abundance of efficient techniques, they cannot fully solve the problem of efficiency. The real key lies in an individual's thinking process and decision-making and information processing. Therefore, cultivating an efficient thinking pattern becomes a decisive factor in improving personal effectiveness. The author of Smarter, Faster, Better, Charles Duhigg, is a seasoned investigative journalist in the business field for the New York Times. He has been honored with the Pulitzer Prize, which is considered the highest achievement in the journalism industry, comparable to the Nobel Prize. His previous best-selling book, The Power of Habit, became a focal point in the business book genre in 2003. With his extensive academic background in history from Yale University and business administration from Harvard Business School, Duhigg combines a unique journalistic perspective with cutting-edge knowledge from neuroscience, psychology, and behavioral economics in this book. Each viewpoint is supported by rigorous experimental data and real-life case studies. The author believes that true efficiency is not only a reflection of execution ability, but also lies in capturing opportunities that others overlook and transforming one's own thinking patterns. Changing the path of thinking will bring about truly efficient results. In the following sections, I will provide a detailed introduction to the 4 key efficiency keywords emphasized in the book: control, team norms, mental models, and innovation, and provide a detailed explanation of each concept. Part 1. First, let's discuss the key concept of control power. Often, we find ourselves lacking enthusiasm for anything, whether it's in our family life or in our work and studies, and we can't find motivation or meaning, resulting in low efficiency. The author believes that in this situation, the key to improving efficiency lies in 2 aspects: first, enhancing personal control over the situation, and second, giving behavior a deeper meaning. Imagine your car is stuck in traffic on the highway, and you notice an exit. Despite the fact that taking this exit may mean taking a detour, you are still willing to do so. This is because our brains feel excited when we are in control and willing to take on extra journeys. This sense of control is key to igniting motivation. Regardless of the situation, it is crucial to make choices that make us feel in control. For example, when dealing with a pile of boring emails, you can choose to start reading one based on personal preference. Or when working on a task, you can start with the most appealing part. Even when you have to meet someone you don't particularly like, you can proactively choose the meeting location. This way of demonstrating control through making choices can naturally ignite our motivation. Let's take a look at a study about nursing homes, which reveals significant differences among elderly people. Why are some able to maintain mental vitality while others experience rapid physical and cognitive decline? The study found that the key lies in the resistance towards the strict regulations of the nursing home. Those who are mentally sharp resist the strict daily schedules and fixed diets imposed by the nursing home, and they may even rearrange the furniture in their rooms on their own. Despite the staff offering assistance in adjusting the furniture, these elderly individuals choose to do it themselves, demonstrating their independence and desire to control their own lives. In fact, these seemingly insignificant behaviors reflect the inner strength of the elderly. They not only desire to take control of their own lives, but also have the ability to do so. These elderly people who resist tradition have a much higher level of daily activity than others, and they also have a larger appetite, which enables them to take medication and participate in fitness activities more punctually. Their attitude towards life is more positive than before they moved into nursing homes, and their thinking is more active. Making choices itself is a manifestation of control. Even if these decisions do not seem to bring direct benefits, people still desire the right to have these choices. Even the smallest decisions help strengthen our sense of control over our own lives. Another strategy is to inject deeper meaning into our actions. Faced with new tasks or jobs we don't particularly enjoy, the author suggests repeatedly asking ourselves why. Why do we persist in running every day? Why choose to distance ourselves from our phones? Why do we respond to emails or meet the needs of our colleagues? Through this self-questioning and self-answering, ordinary tasks gain a deeper level of meaning and value. They are no longer mundane tasks, but meaningful choices that make us feel truly in control of our lives. We gradually understand that even seemingly inconspicuous actions like responding to emails or assisting colleagues are actually proactive and meaningful choices, which in turn ignite powerful motivation. Consider the case of the United States Marine Corps. As an elite force in the United States, Marines differ from regular soldiers in that they are always at the forefront of combat, the last to withdraw, and face high-risk battle environments. They must be able to make independent decisions and choose the best course of action. However, the Marine Corps leadership has found that in recent years, newly recruited soldiers generally lack clear goals and often just go with the flow. Many new recruits face injuries, vomiting, or even fainting due to the intense physical training, leading many to consider giving up. In such situations, instructors ask them to ask each other, "Why did you choose to come here?" The soldiers' answers vary greatly, some for the future of their families, others to prove their worth. After this self-exploration, most soldiers find their motivation again and continue training. The author points out that combining challenging tasks with personal goals can make the mission a meaningful choice, thereby inspiring motivation. The choices we make not only demonstrate our control, but also affirm our own values and goals. Choosing to initiate a small struggle in a nursing home can make us radiant. Choosing to join the Marine Corps can be a way to express love to our family and prove ourselves. When we can transform tasks into meaningful choices and have confidence in our ability to control our lives, efficiency naturally improves. In the office environment, achieving efficiency is often a challenge. To address this, companies can adopt a series of strategies to empower employees and improve productivity. Among these, delegating decision-making authority to those who can directly solve problems is a key step. The success of the Toyota production system lies in decentralizing decision-making authority to the grassroots level, as frontline workers are often the first to identify issues. For example, employees responsible for installing engine components undoubtedly have a better understanding of the engine than anyone else. They are the ones who are most familiar with various minor defects in the production process. Only by maximizing their rights to seek solutions can this approach be most effective. The new United Motor Manufacturing Incorporated or NUMMI company has also adopted a similar strategy. The company's flagship product is Chevrolet cars, and every employee's opinions and suggestions, whether far-fetched or beyond the budget, are taken seriously and responded to. If it cannot be implemented, the management will publicly explain the reasons. Each team has the right to change workstation layout or workflow. When workers on the production line encounter problems, they can stop the entire production line, resolve the issue, and then resume production. Although some people worry that this may affect factory efficiency, in fact, not a single worker maliciously stops the production line. The workers have more choices and a sense of control over the company, which greatly enhances their motivation and sense of responsibility, making the efficiency of the NUMMI surpass many other car factories. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, has also benefited from the concept of lean production. Although it has a large number of internal databases on its technical platform, the speed of data retrieval and analysis is slow and the accuracy is low. As early as 1997, the FBI assured Congress that it would develop an efficient system in the future. However, until 2008, despite the cost of developing internal systems reaching $305 million, the system remained unchanged and the development work was stuck in bureaucracy. When executive Fergal took over, he found that the reason for the decades-long stagnation in system development was that the FBI's leaders wanted to plan everything in advance, so they spent a lot of time studying development requirements and repeatedly seeking approval. It took at least 6 months for a proposal to be approved. However, software system development requires flexibility, as problems can arise unexpectedly and new breakthroughs cannot be predicted in advance. In fact, the most authoritative voices on this system are the agents who use it and the engineers who participate in its development, not the officials of the investigative bureau. Fergal began transforming the development process of the system with the concept of lean production. After eliminating cumbersome procedures, programmers and agents could propose ideas on Monday and design samples by Wednesday. After team discussion, they could start testing on Friday. Programmers and agents were given more control and they invested great enthusiasm in researching new features. Eventually, they developed a powerful internal system that could analyze millions of investigation data simultaneously and identify crime patterns that agents were not aware of. In the first month of its implementation in 2012, over 30,000 agents used it to solve a large number of cases. When employees feel empowered to make decisions and trust that their team members are all working towards the same goal, they will work smarter and more efficiently. Some may argue that delegating decision-making authority carries significant risks, such as FBI programmers designing faulty computer programs or agents pursuing cases based on their own flawed thinking, which could hinder solving the cases. However, in the author's opinion, the benefits of empowering employees with decision-making authority far outweigh these potential losses. If employees are not given the opportunity to make mistakes, it would be the biggest loss for the company. Part 2. The above is what I have told you about the first keyword, control. Enhancing the sense of control over the situation and giving actions greater meaning can effectively improve our efficiency. After discussing this, I will now share with you the team norms. Google, this company, has been named one of the best employers by Fortune magazine for 6 consecutive years. The company has always spared no expense in researching the relationship between employee happiness and efficiency. They have a dedicated personnel analysis team that conducts a large-scale project to analyze employee relations, mainly focusing on how teams can be more efficient. Many people believe that if every member is smart and capable, the team will naturally be efficient. However, through studying numerous cases, Google's personnel analysis team found that the composition of a team is not important, rather, team norms are the key factor that affects team efficiency. Team norms refer to the traditions, behavioral standards, and unwritten rules that a team follows. Some teams allow members to interrupt others' speeches, while others insist on taking turns to speak. Some teams celebrate members' birthdays and chat for a few minutes before meetings, while others get straight to the point. These are all manifestations of team norms, which determine whether we experience safety or threat, exhaustion or enthusiasm, vitality or discouragement in a team. Good team norms have achieved efficient teams at Google, but a study at Harvard University has discovered a strange phenomenon: the stronger the team consciousness, the higher the error rate. Researchers found that nurses making mistakes such as giving patients the wrong medication or administering the wrong injection occurred in shocking numbers after visiting various hospital wards and reviewing medical error reports from 2 hospitals in Boston. This is not due to a lack of ability on the part of medical staff, but rather because the work in hospitals is complex. Treating a patient often involves a team of over 20 doctors and nurses, and the more people involved, the higher the probability of errors occurring. The final conclusion is surprising: it is not the teams that gossip and chat when they have nothing to do that have a high error rate, but rather the disciplined and star teams. Why is it that the stronger the team's sense of unity, the higher the error rate? In fact, it's not that strong teams are more prone to making mistakes, but rather that these teams create a tolerant and open environment where doctors and nurses can openly discuss their mistakes and are more willing to admit and correct their own errors. On the other hand, teams with loose awareness and who avoid mistakes like the plague tend to hide and conceal their errors, so it may seem like their error rate is low, but the actual problem is very serious. So, what kind of team norms are most important? In the author's view, all excellent teams have 2 characteristics. First, every member has the opportunity to speak up. Team members can expose their vulnerable side to others, freely offer suggestions without fear of punishment. These norms bring a sense of belonging to team members, creating a psychological safety where individuals do not feel embarrassed, excluded, or punished for expressing their opinions. As long as everyone has the chance to speak, the team can collaborate well. However, if only one or a few individuals have the opportunity to speak, the collective intelligence of the team will decrease. Second, members of excellent teams have a high level of social sensitivity. Each member genuinely cares about others' feelings. Most people are skilled at judging others' true thoughts through their tone of speech, facial expressions, etc. They actively empathize with others' feelings and proactively adapt to them. Although team members do not necessarily have to be best friends, it is necessary to cultivate social sensitivity and understand how to listen to others' thoughts and express oneself better. The best strategy for establishing team norms is for the team leader to personally demonstrate it. The leader should make each team member feel that their ideas matter by adding a sentence like, "I may have missed something, please remind me," every time they speak. They can also encourage members who are not good at expressing themselves to share their viewpoints. In addition, during meetings, it is important not to interrupt team members' speeches arbitrarily. Summarizing after someone speaks shows respect for the speaker. Although these may seem like minor details, they can have a huge impact on team members. Some may argue that with so much work, having everyone speak is a waste of time. Allowing the people who are most knowledgeable about the situation to speak can lead to quick decision-making and increased efficiency. However, the author has proven through extensive research that allowing everyone in the team to freely express their opinions and have psychological safety, although it may temporarily waste some time, will ultimately lead to higher team efficiency. Part 3. The above is what I told you about the second keyword, team norms. Good team norms give each member a sense of psychological safety, which naturally improves efficiency. Now let me explain the mental model to you. Why can some people remain calm and focused in chaotic environments, while others appear helpless? Why can some people make the right choices under pressure, while others become indecisive? The author tells a story about a nurse saving a baby. The neonatal intensive care unit has many premature babies or babies who were slightly injured at birth. It is not easy for the nurse to determine which babies have problems because seemingly healthy premature babies may suddenly become ill, and sick babies may recover without any signs. Therefore, the nurse needs to constantly choose their focus, whether it is crying babies or silent babies? Or the medical equipment that continuously generates data? A nurse named Darlene passed by an incubator for premature babies and glanced at the baby lying inside. All the instruments connected to the baby showed that her vital signs were normal. However, Darlene felt that something was not right. She noticed slight blemishes on the baby's skin, some swelling in the abdomen, and the skin was not the usual pink color for a newborn. Darlene found the attending physician and suggested a detailed examination for the baby. The results showed that the child was in the early stages of sepsis, a potentially life-threatening systemic inflammatory response caused by infection. Through timely medical treatment, the child was saved. How did Darlene determine that the baby had a problem? She admitted that it was because she had a mental image of a healthy baby, and the sick baby did not match that image in her mind. Therefore, her attention focused on those abnormal details, rather than being misled by the normal indicators displayed by the automated instruments. People like Darlene, who are good at controlling their own attention, have some common characteristics. One of them is that they are accustomed to mentally depicting the situations they expect to see as images. Psychologists call this habitual predictive method, constructing a mental model. The mental models constructed by efficient individuals are very specific. They can imagine more details about imagined conversations and things to be done, so as to better decide what to focus on or ignore. They have their own visions of the future, and once their lives conflict with their predictions, their attention quickly focuses on what is truly important. When the attention of ordinary people is mobilized, they tend to only focus on what is in front of them and cannot control their attention well. The reason why mental models can help us is that they can help us quickly determine the objects of our attention, enabling us to make proactive decisions instead of being passively reactive in the face of unexpected situations. So, how do efficient individuals construct mental models? Researchers have found that the most efficient employees in a company share some common characteristics. Firstly, they handle a maximum of 5 tasks at a time during work, which is a reasonable and not excessive workload. However, some employees try to handle 10 to 12 tasks simultaneously, which leads to their energy being too dispersed and the results are not ideal. Secondly, efficient employees are more selective in choosing tasks. They tend to prefer projects in the early stages, which is why they handle a maximum of 5 tasks at a time. These new projects require a lot of time to get to know new colleagues and learn new skills. Although joining such projects involves facing many unknowns and taking on significant risks, projects in the early stages often contain a wealth of information. Efficient employees who join these projects will be exposed to things they haven't seen before, and they will have earlier access to the company's new strategies and layouts than others. All of this provides them with a new perspective for handling other work in the future. Finally, they also have a common characteristic, which is being very talkative and even obsessed with explaining to their colleagues why some business progresses smoothly while others are slow, why some clients are satisfied but others have a bad attitude. They are always telling their own observations and thoughts. In other words, they tend to construct mental models through continuous explanation, cognition, and analysis. They are always trying to understand how to combine information for better results. And the fact also proves that those who know how to allocate their attention and habitually construct mental models often achieve higher income and better performance. To practice building mental models, cultivating the habit of telling stories is a great method that can be done anytime, anywhere. For example, while driving to work, you can imagine how to start a meeting that is about to be held. If discussing a recent project, what viewpoints would you propose and what different opinions might your colleagues have? During meetings or meals, you can describe to yourself what you see and the meaning behind it. If you want to better interact with your children, you can imagine what they might say during dinner, so you can pay attention to what they may have missed or said incorrectly and help them better. Many excellent pilots will practice telling stories of what if before flying, so that when accidents occur, they can react quickly using the mental models they have built. Our daily lives are actually very similar to the situation in the cockpit for pilots. During meetings, if your boss suddenly asks for your opinion, your brain will abruptly switch from passive listening mode to active thinking mode. However, without a constructed mental model, you may not be able to think well in this situation. You can only come up with a few sentences to get by, which not only fails to showcase your true abilities but can also lead to misunderstandings. This is where the telling stories mental model comes in handy. You can describe in your mind what is currently happening at any time. This way, when your boss suddenly asks a question and you only have a short time to think, your brain's attention can quickly grasp the key points. Part 4. The above is what I have told you about the third keyword, mental model. Building a strong mental model can make our attention work more efficiently. Now, let me tell you about the last keyword, innovation. Disney's movie Frozen is a very successful animated film. It won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature in 2014. However, before its official release, the internal test version received negative reviews. The audience felt that the plot was cliché and not touching at all. The screenwriters had to repeatedly revise the script. At that time, there was only a year and a half left before the official release of the film, excluding post-production and promotional periods. This left very little time for the creative process. How to inspire the team's creativity before the deadline became a difficult problem for the film producers. As the deadline for creation approached, the discussions within the creative team were coming to an end. However, the producers discovered that the screenwriters had expanded every storyline in the film, resulting in several different stories colliding with each other. Each story contained good elements, but they had not been integrated into a cohesive whole. The entire film lacked a central theme. The producer encourages everyone to combine their own experiences with the film, integrating each person's true emotions into the fictional scenes of the animation. Anxious screenwriters have no choice but to imagine themselves as the protagonist of the story, experiencing the joys and sorrows of the main character. As a result, when the plot and the screenwriter's true emotions are combined, the entire story begins to have a clear emotional storyline. Combining two fields in a novel way like this is actually a very effective way of innovation. For example, the familiar water cup with a straw is a design that combines the leak-proof nozzle of a kettle with a shampoo bottle. The modern bicycle helmet is a combination of the shape of a boat hull, which can withstand strong impacts, and a hat. Highly creative individuals are actually intermediaries of knowledge. They are active in different circles, and are often good at applying concepts from one field to another. Steve Jobs once said, "If you ask creative people how they did it, they feel a little guilty because they didn't really do it, they just saw something. It seemed obvious to them after a while." That's because they were able to connect experiences they've had and synthesize new things. And the reason they were able to do that was that they've had more experiences, or they have thought more about their experiences than other people. In fact, each of us has creativity, but sometimes we need pressure to push us to unleash it. The inventor of sticky notes was a chemical engineer who always had trouble with bookmarks falling out of books while reading. To solve this problem, he came up with a bookmark that could stick to the pages. The inventor of baby formula was an exhausted father who had to frantically add various baby nutrients to the formula in the middle of the night while the baby cried loudly beside him. He decided to adjust the formula to change this situation. These creators used their own lives as inspiration for innovation, and the practical needs drove them to place old ideas in new contexts. So, in order to improve the efficiency of innovation, in the author's opinion, first, you need to learn to pay attention to your personal experiences and your feelings towards things. This will help you distinguish between cliches and genuine insights. Only what touches you personally can truly move others. Second, if you feel pressure and fear during the innovation process, don't be afraid. This moderate interference is actually a helpful assistant. Anxiety can drive us to examine past ideas from a completely new perspective. The key to overcoming this dilemma is to re-examine the conventional methods that you believe to be effective and use them to solve new problems. Summary. Speaking of this, the content is almost finished. Now let's briefly review the 4 keywords of efficiency that I shared with you today. First keyword, control. Enhancing the sense of control over the situation and giving actions greater meaning can effectively improve our efficiency. Second keyword, team norms. Good team norms give each member a sense of psychological safety, naturally increasing efficiency. Third keyword, mental models. Constructing a powerful mental model allows us to quickly grasp the key points and work more efficiently. Fourth keyword, innovation. Highly creative individuals are actually intermediaries of knowledge, often adept at applying concepts from one field to another, using innovation to enhance efficiency. Congratulations on finishing another book. Thank you for your support. Please subscribe to our Wisdom Planet audiobook channel. Like and share it with family and friends. Wisdom worth spreading and opening up a better future. Thank you and see you again.